Hi, this is Keenan Maxfield. I've been doing off-grid solar since 2011, teaching with SEI since 2016. I, um, I'm here with my wife, Lydia. She's holding the phone, and my baby here. And we are doing just a quick look at how I would recommend not installing solar. I say there is nothing that I'm going to show you that I would recommend. So let's get started. So this is all a do-it-yourselfer job. He's kind of done it all himself. And I've actually never met the person who installed this. It was the previous owner of this house. The new owner bought this house and then called me here to come look at it. So check out the way that they connected this post to the structure. It's just through here. It goes through some kind of a collar to hold it in place. It goes around there's actually a narrower pole that goes somewhere to here that goes down into this plate and into the cement. And so he has this little bolt that he can pull out, and he can actually swivel this around to change it for morning, noon, and evening. The problem is I've seen systems like this, there's a number of problems. First of all, it's attached to the house. That's the biggest problem. Any movement in this is going to cause a lot of noise in the house. And so that's a bad design. Put that bolt back in there. Number two, and the whole way that it's designed, there's going to be a lot of movement. Number two, well, I don't know how well you can see it up in there, but everything is under-engineered. It's not really designed well. There's a lot of movement, so that can cause micro cracks in the cells. It's going to cause reduction in life and reduction in power output over time. The other thing is with a manual tracking, manually turning it east in the morning, noon during the day, and west in the evening, in theory you can get more energy out of it. But I've seen so many people, they turn it east in the morning, and then they forget about it until like 3 p.m. and then they will point it another way, and they've just lost all of that good energy during the middle of the day because their modules are pointing east. It's much better to have them just pointing south all the time than to accidentally forget about it. Now, if somebody's really going out and checking it every hour, then sure, they get more power out of it that way. But the biggest thing is never attach a pole to a house like this. It's just a bad idea. Maybe if you have engineers stamp it and approve it and put their liability on it, then that's one thing. But especially a do-it-yourselfer system like this. I'm going to show you the other modules on the other side of the house, but it's basically the same, so you can stop the video now if you want or not. But also, those modules over there, they're an interesting module. I'm going to have a little bit of a tidbit about those modules on the end, because they're not a usual module. These ones are pretty common old modules. They're 75 watts each. So we can walk around to the other side. So you can see these modules. Come around to this. These modules are, they do have MC4 cables, connectors, but it's all really bogus wiring on the backside. It's just, they're just wire nutted together and taped, basically. And so, again, do-it-yourselfers have some very creative ways of doing things. they've got this pipe with these clamps, and obviously the wind was turning it, so then they added these other braces on the bottom to keep it from tilting differently. And if we come inside here, he's got basically the same setup for rotating this, except for that it's really loose, so it's not actually working. But check out how his bracing, bring the camera over here. This bracing has come apart, so now it's not being held firm, and this whole array rocks back and forth and comes this way and hits here, goes that way, hits there, and it's just getting worse and worse. It's an interesting setup. Now, the interesting note about these modules is a bit on the technical side. They're, from the ground, they kind of look like a standard module, like a standard residential module, but it's an interesting layout. It's actually 3 sets of 36 cells in parallel inside the module. I figured I'd just do this as a screen recording. So a typical 12-volt solar panel or 36-cell solar panel for charging a 12-volt battery, it's going to have an open circuit voltage significantly above 12 volts so that it can continue to charge a 12-volt battery no matter how hot the solar panel is. So it's going to be 36 cells in series. So if this is the far negative cell, the power would go from that cell through these cells and into that one, and then back, and then into that one, and back, and up like that. So this will be the furthest positive cell. Now you're going to have a bypass diode installed from between here and there. It's going to be a bypass diode. There's going to be another bypass diode installed there to there. So that's for safety, and if you want to know more about bypass diodes, maybe I could talk about that in a later video. Or yeah, so anyways, let's see, revert. So in these solar panels, there we go. So these solar panels are different. They have 3 sets of 36 cells. So what we have here is this would be like the negative bus bar, and this set here is going to there, and that, and there's a set there, and there's a set there, so that's 3 sets. So each of those are 18 cells. You notice this parallel bus bar here connects all of these. It connects all of these ones in parallel. So this cell connects into there, 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 and then here we've got from this cell coming this way to there, and to there, and to there. So ultimately we've got these 3, well, the top 3 sets of 18 are tied in parallel, and then they're tied in series with these bottom 3 sets of 18. So it's essentially 3 sets of 36 all tied in parallel. This bus bar here ties these ones in parallel. So your electricity essentially coming in from the junction box just comes into here, branches out through these 3 ways, goes through these cells, merges and combines, then it comes out here, branches these 3 ways, goes through all these cells, merges and combines. It's just a very unique way of doing it, but it gets the same result. And then here there's a piece of metal that goes in the back of the solar panel from this bus bar up into the junction box. And so then you still have the same bypass diodes. You have a bypass diode that goes from this parallel junction to this one here that goes to there. You've got a bypass diode that goes from there into this positive bus bar. So that's just a quick look at what makes these unique. If you want to learn more about bypass diodes, there's a ton of material out there on bypass diodes in solar, and of course I would always recommend a class on solar panels and how they work from SEI. But the SEI class would not look at a solar panel like this because it is not normal. So that's it. That's again how I would not install solar panels.